Ms. Lu and Ling.
Mr. Speaker, today in this House we witness a historic milestone in the making of a fairer and more inclusive Singapore. As a nation, we will strike decisively ahead to realize greater equality between women and men. This is an important move to advance Singapore women's development to higher levels. Although much has been achieved since the 1961 Women's Charter, there's more to be done. For instance, women today still take the lion's share of caregiving duties, and many members have talked about it during their speeches. And some of the common products that we use on a daily basis are made based on men's requirements, without addressing the needs of women's users. But this is changing and will continue to evolve with the plans that's put forth by the White Paper. The White Paper reflects the manifold voices and collective aspirations of Singaporeans, both women and men alike. We hope the paper's 25 action plans will not only improve the lives of Singapore women, but as a whole, advance our society. Since the start of the conversations in September 2020, I have had the chance to speak with many Singaporeans of different ages and from all walks of life, from youth and working professionals, caregivers and educators, to corporate and business leaders, as well as our unionists. Among the diverse views of nearly 6,000 participants of the conversation, one strong common wish was for Singapore to build a fairer and more inclusive society where men and women partner each other as equals and pursue their aspirations freely and to the fullest. To this end, let me share how 3 key action plans in the White Paper will uplift, protect, and reflect the interests of Singapore women. First, we will uplift caregivers, many of whom are women, by working closely with the community to lighten their load. Second, we will ensure the protection of women in sports. Third, we will develop national standards for products, services, and procedures to better reflect the needs of women. Today, while women have made headway in terms of greater equality at work and in society, a disproportionate gap persists when it comes to caregiving. Women are still the one holding the fort in caregiving and shouldering the heavier load. Although there is growing recognition of the need to balance this disequilibrium, it takes time to change long-held gender role stereotypes. Meanwhile, we must do all we can to support caregivers and women who carry out the tough work of caregiving. In the course of our conversations in the past 1.5 years, many participants have suggested tapping on the kampong spirit to better support our caregivers. For instance, creating a community buddy system where caregivers can check in with each other and offer emotional support. Let me elaborate on how we will enhance support for caregivers. We will partner the community to push out 3 key initiatives to uplift and support caregivers. Firstly, community-based peer support networks. From next month onwards, PA, NCSS, and SG Cares volunteer centres will work with Caregiver Alliance Limited to link caregivers of persons with mental health conditions together to form networks of mutual support. This will help reinforce ground support for this group of caregivers who are especially vulnerable to burnout. Volunteers who wish to be part of this effort can go to the C2C, which is the Caregivers to Caregivers training program, to have a better understanding of the kind of mental health challenges that caregivers face. Second, we will boost help for caregivers of persons with disabilities. Through the Alliance for Action EFA on Caregivers of Persons with Disabilities, NCSS and SG Enable will collaborate with community partners to create a buddy program that pairs experienced caregivers with new ones. For example, the mother of a 5-year-old boy with autism, Madam Feng, tells us that she has benefited from the valuable experience, advice, and tips of other parents of children with special needs. They taught Madam Feng how to use simple OT, occupational therapy exercise to help her child. Third, we will co-create new solutions to cater to the needs of caregivers so that they can be better supported in their caregiving journey. NCSS and Mumford Care are leading the Caregiver Community Lab project. It brings together caregivers, residents, and community partners to ideate and co-create solutions. The project was first piloted in Rading Mas and will now be expanded to Tanjong Pagar. Besides synergizing the efforts in the two estates, this initiative seeks to better understand the barriers that our caregivers face in accessing support services and take steps to address the obstacles. Sir, caregiving is a tough and often long journey that can take a toll on one's mental and physical health. Although my caregiving journey for my late father 12 years ago can be considered a short one compared to others, I know how strenuous and stressful it can be. Because each day, while my late father was in the ICU and was a total period of 10 weeks, we oscillated between hope and despair as we kept watch over him 24 hours a day over that 10 weeks period. Many caregivers go through the roller coaster emotions on the road of caregiving. Having a network of support from fellow caregiver and care services would strengthen their resilience greatly. With greater respect and partnership in caregiving, men and women can contribute towards this important role which cannot afford to be neglected, else our society and our families may suffer. The government will spare no effort to boost and bolster new structures of support and create new solutions to meet the needs of our caregivers. And with greater community support, we hope no caregiver will walk the journey alone. Just as how we are empowering and equipping caregivers, we are enabling women to have the freedom and security to excel in sports by providing them safe sporting environment. During the conversations, participants had expressed their desire for clear guidelines and measures to deter harassment and misconduct in the sporting arena. Since then, the Safe Sport Commission has, over a 9-month consultative process, developed a Safe Sport Unified Code to enhance the protection of women in sports. Now, this exercise involved key stakeholders like sportswomen, psychologists, and non-profit organizations. First, the code has set out a common reference point and understanding of what constitutes misconduct, abuse, and harassment in sports. Second, the Safe Sport Commission has established a central case management service to provide a channel for reporting incidents of misconduct. In addition, there is a network of counselors and befrienders to provide psychosocial support for affected individuals. Third, we will be establishing a disciplinary panel to hear and review allegations of misconduct under the Unified Code. The panel will decide on the appropriate penalties and sanctions to be imposed on alleged perpetrators. Fourth, we will continue to educate the sporting community and public on the Safe Sport Unified Code. The online learning portal, SportSGED, has specified modules for coaches and athletes to learn about their roles and responsibilities in sport. Last but not least, the Safe Sport program is testament to our zero-tolerance approach towards any misconduct that threatens the safety of our sporting environment. Sir, every woman athlete deserves to freely play, practice, and compete in a respectful and safe environment. By upholding the standards of the Unified Code, we can keep our sporting environment healthy and positive for all athletes, especially women. Apart from setting respectful standards of behavior in sports, we are also developing and upholding gender-responsive standards in our society. This means setting standards for products, services, and procedures that consider and cater to the needs of both genders, including those of women. Let me give you an example. In the past 2 years, we have to use masks. Some of us have to use PPE, certainly our healthcare workers. Personal protective equipment such as helmets, gloves, safety goggles used in work sites, etc., need to also cater to the sizes and shapes of women for better fit and protection, instead of uniformly designed based on the requirements of males. To this end, Enterprise Singapore ESG and the Singapore Standards Council have recently developed a new gender strategy. It will be implemented across all committees under the Singapore Standards Council, such as biomedical and health, building and construction, and quality and safety. Our efforts are aligned with the vision of the International Organizations for Standardization and their Gender Action Plan. Apart from developing gender-responsive standards, the gender strategy also seeks to increase women representation in the development of standards and raise awareness of their contributions. So I would like to use this platform to encourage and urge women with relevant industry experience to contribute their views and expertise to this important work of national standardizations. The ESG website has more details on how the public can participate with their feedback. We hope that in the near future, the products, services, and procedures in Singapore will be increasingly gender responsive, as addressing the unique needs of women become more of a norm rather than exception. Our society will be one where men and women are recognized and treated as equal partners. Mr. Speaker, sir, on our journey to build a fairer and more inclusive society, it's vital to have mutual respect and partnership between both sexes, taking care of each other, giving every person a fair shot at success, and ensuring that there is equal protection for men and women alike. These are fundamental values that will help us forge a Singapore where men and women stand as equals and where we each have a chance to realize our dreams and aspirations. With this, Mr. Speaker, sir, I support the motion. Thank you.